Hi everyone, Average Pat here to sit to chat about the movie Venom. Venom officially opened nationwide on October the 5th. I actually saw it in an advanced screening on the 4th of October down in King of Prussia at the IMAX Theater. My initial thoughts on it as a comic book fan was I was incredibly disappointed. The major disappointment that everybody who's a true comic fan will have, and myself included, was there's no Spider-Man. Venom is a major Spider-Man villain. He's integral into the Spider-Verse, if you will, the overall flow of his comics as a major villain. And without having Spider-Man involved to have a good opposite to bad, it was a little bit very lacking actually. As a movie fan, it wasn't very badly done. There was a lot of action, there was chase scenes, there was drama, there was a lot of one-liners. Overall, as for the acting abilities of the characters involved, Tom Hardy did his role as Eddie Brock very, very well. It's a difficult role because he has to show the grittiness of I'm going to go scoop the story as an investigative reporter, but then he also has to show the struggle of dealing with how to handle the symbiote, interacting with his body, not understanding that completely. I think Michelle Williams, despite being Oscar nominated 4 separate times, most recently for Manchester by the Sea, this was not going to earn her a nomination in my eyes for anything, for a Golden Globe, for an Oscar, for anything. This one, I think she phoned it in. She didn't really seem to have very much passion for it. And it's a shame because I like her as an actress. She's a very, very, very talented actress, but this was not her best effort. As for the overall movie, the feel of it wasn't that bad. They kind of reimagined some of it and didn't really give a whole origin story side of it. They didn't really explain where the symbiotes came from, why they're interacting with hosts the way they did, if they interacted with them, if they didn't interact with them, what were the stipulations that made them interact with them. Things that could have been easily explained with like 1 or 2 sentences. Just kind of a throw and nod towards it just so it makes it feel a little bit more smooth. The CGI, most of the time, was very well done. However, there were many scenes during the vehicle chase, which has been seen in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. While he's being chased while he's on his motorcycle, the interaction of the symbiote with the vehicles chasing him during another major incident. The action moved a little bit too fast. The camera angles weren't quite good enough to keep up, and the CGI suffered greatly for it. The other major drawback I had with the CGI was conversing with the symbiote. There's scenes where Eddie's talking to Venom, and Venom's actually got a head in front of him, and he's having a conversation with him. At that scene, you could tell, at least it seemed to me, that he wasn't really talking to anybody or anything, whereas Marvel tends to have an icon. Hey, this is what you're going to be talking to, look up at this direction, have interactions with this. The perfect example of that would be Korg in Thor Ragnarok. Chris Hemsworth was told to look at the icon of where his face would be, so that way he would have the correct depth, he would have like something to focus on instead of just staring blindly into space. And I don't think they did that, and if they did, they didn't do it very well here because it kind of looked empty. Overall, again, as a movie fan, it's not a bad movie. As a comic fan, it was disappointing. As a movie fan, I would give this a rating of 3.5 out of 5. Overall, it's not a bad movie. I would go see it. I might take the kids to go see it. It's a little bit on the scarier side, but since they've seen all the Marvel movies, I think they can handle it pretty well. As for the future of the Venomverse, as they will, we can only hope that they introduce Spider-Man into the Sony world as well. I know Spider-Man is allocated by Sony, who has the movie rights to him, to appear in the Marvel Universe. I'm hoping that there's some way they can join forces and have him appear in these movies with Venom. That would be a big help. That would make the next movie a lot better. So that's my review of Venom. Again, 3.5 stars out of 5, or 3.5 thermostats out of 5, because it's getting hotter as it goes along. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please follow me. Like me on Facebook and on YouTube. And I also have an Instagram page as well if you're interested as well. I'm trying to get this up and running. The scene behind me is under construction. I got a couple more posters, more collectible tickets to hang up just to show the variety of movies that I've seen and what I'm looking forward to seeing. So thank you very much. Have a good day.